buddies or scrapping buddies, as the case may be. Welcome. This is Lori from Lori's Little Bit of Crafting. Late night Lori, coming to you on Friday, September 19th. It is 11:56 p.m. here in Wisconsin. I am an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in the United States, and I am waiting for my devices to catch up with me so that I can see if anybody's catching me live and try to keep up with the comments. And I got one device is active. Let's see about the other one here. Well, I have one live, but not the other one. So hopefully my iPad will catch up to me. We are going to carry on from where we left off yesterday. And just a couple of quick announcements. The one-day sale is over. So if you missed out on the stamps or the Stampin' Tools, sorry, you'll have to wait for the next one. But there are a couple of things coming up. So this 12 Days of Crafting Advent Calendar looks pretty cool. It's got a stamp set, exclusive papers, dies, tools, a bunch of stuff. I don't even know what's in there, but excuse me, there are 12 days, and this is actually it looks like a pretty big kit. So hopefully that will be something special. It is $99 in the US. It's got exclusive dies, paper, embellishments, and more. Ordering begins in just a few days on September 23rd. We also, on October 4th, have World Card Making Day. This is a free event. If you're local to me, I will have the studio open an hour before and an hour after the event. Mountain time, it goes from 2 to 3. So our time, it's 3 to 4. They are doing a kit, but if you don't get the kit that's designed for the World Card Making Day, no worries. We can do something else. All right. So I will get rid of those. Oh, this one here too. Craft class. This is something new. Stampin' Up! Is starting October 23rd. You can order this starting October 1st. That is a $30 class. It'll have samples, tips, techniques. You'll have an experienced instructor doing this virtual class. I intend to have a watch party for this as well. So if you're local to me, the studio will be open for that too. All right. Here is what we created yesterday. Now, I didn't take the time today to find my pictures that I'm going to put on here, and I didn't do the blending yet like I thought about doing, but I did attach my photo placeholders. I didn't set down, nothing else is really glued. So the pictures aren't glued in place. So I can still play around with it a little bit. And I'm still waiting for my live to come up on my iPad. There we go. Maybe. So anyway, I did want to just cover a couple of things for this. I will probably still add a couple of other little photos or other elements. But I did add a couple of these tag toppers from the Spooky Halloween dies. So this kind of coordinates with the set, although the papers in the kit are exclusive. I did some bats. So I did a bunch of black bats that we will probably intersperse along here. And I wanted to show you about making a pocket. So the pocket is not part of the instructions. And if you are interested in these instructions, they actually had a typo. So the instructions are available on my store website. So if you look up item 166, 494, you'll get all the measurements and everything. You could adapt it to stuff that you have on hand. Normally, that's not going to be the case, but it's kind of like a bonus this time. The instructions usually come in the kit, but since there was a typo, they posted them online. So anyway, sometimes there's special techniques. And for this particular one, I thought I would make this a pocket so that I could put journaling tags in here or add some extra little pictures on here. And I thought these little tags would be fun. So I used this from the paper from that Halloween suite. And then this is actually some old metallic paper that I found that I had. So I'm going to go ahead and put that on. And I just randomly cut um, a tag that was bigger than this one. And then this gorgeous grape, because it coordinates with everything, I just made that slightly wider. So we're going to do just a couple of things. We're going to go ahead and cut the corners off the gorgeous grape. And we're just going to kind of make it so that it's at the same angle as the green one. So what I'm going to take here is, to make my corner here symmetrical, if I take this corner off and flip it over here and line it up to make that my template, my angle will be the same. All right. And then I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to glue these on. Now this one I glued up higher just so that I would have more space on this pre-done tag. And on these, I think I'm just going to put them up higher so that they match style-wise with that one. And they'll still be able to get pulled out of there without any trouble. So let's go ahead and glue these down. I just wanted to get these couple of things done before we move on to the second 2-page spread for this kit. Aren't these adorable? This is a single die from that suite that cuts out the, basically like the tag topper. Oops. And if you've got some other metallic papers, we can't get this color anymore because it's not offered, but then I got glue on here. I might have to put a bat or something on that. But if you've got some other metallic papers or something fun that you want to use, just know that what I'm using here is from my stash. All right. So that's going to nestle with this, and then this one. And then I'm just going to make that pocket real quick. Looks pretty straight. I wanted to just have these tags ready so that you could kind of see how the pocket will work. And then when we get to the end, I will show you how we can make our page protectors interactive so that you don't have to take the page out of your book. You won't have to take it out of the memory or the page protector to get the interactive part of it. So I think I want to cut this green, the Granny Apple green, just a little shorter so that they're kind of graduated in size. Let's see if it's short enough here. That'll work. All right. So if I want these tags to be able to come out of the pocket, I don't want to adhere this whole piece. Obviously, I just want the outside. Now, if these are shorter, like let's say I was just doing this one, I would want to make sure I put some kind of stop on there so that my tag doesn't get lost inside. But these are going to be bigger. So I'm just going to flip this over, and I can see the border here. And I am going to use my adhesive, the foam adhesive strips. These are really great for doing shaker cards and for doing pockets like this. It works really well. So for this one, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put a stop piece right here so that when these go in the pocket, they won't go any further down than that. All right. And then I'm going to go ahead and put these other pieces on the edges. And I'm just going to kind of eyeball it here. I'm going to cut 2 of these. I'm just going to turn this so I can handle it a little bit better. So you might be thinking, okay, this is a scrapbook page. I never really considered, if you're like me, I never considered popping up any of the elements on my page. But to my surprise, I learned that you can. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to attach this one. And we're just going to work with the second page, the right side, I think, because I'm not sure exactly where I want to put those. And I still want to do some ink blending, I think. So this one, we're going to just hold those in there, and I'm going to kind of line this up. So it's kind of going off that orange a little bit, the pumpkin pie. And now these can easily go in and out. Now I might do journaling on these. I might add a picture. I haven't decided, but I wanted to have them in there. So when I add my page to my page protector, what I'll do, and I think I explained this yesterday, is I will put a like a filler piece, like a piece of cardboard. In fact, maybe I should just do that. Let's do it right now since I'm thinking about it. Let me grab a page protector. And I might have shown this recently. I just don't remember. I just have to find my bag of page protectors. Here we go. All right, so this one is going to go this way because that's the left side. And this one will come this way. I'll have a second sheet. So I'm going to go ahead and just take these off for right now. I'm not quite ready to put those on. And we're going to go ahead and slide this page right into the page protector. All right, and you want to make sure that you push it all the way down right where it's going to sit. All right, so then what I want to do is take a stylus. Let me grab one for my Take Your Pick tool. And I'm going to add the stylus to the bottom of my Take Your Pick tool. Maybe. There we go. And I am going to just trace here, and let me get a straight line. I'm going to trace here. And I'm going to come up here actually so I can see the outline. I don't want that covered. And we're going to go from here over to here. Now you can use a pencil or a pen, whatever works for you. But I think that'll be good. And then you take your page out, and I'm going to go ahead and get a piece of chipboard. In my attempts to clean things up a little bit, I put my chipboard away. I had a piece out here. So we're going to go ahead and put this back on the inside because you want to keep those layers protected. And you may not be able to see that, but I can see the line from my stylus that goes right across there. So what I'm going to do then is get my craft tip, and we're going to take this part off. I love my take your pick tool. And I think I'm going to have to get one set up with the stylus and the craft tool. So I have a bunch of these. And I'm going to have one specific for my scrapbooking stuff now. So I'm going to use this ruler again. And I'm going to, you won't be able to see my line very well, but it's right here. And I'm going to put a piece of washi tape where it ends so that I don't cut further than I need to. So I'm going to start right here and make sure I'm up to the line here. And we're just going to slice this open and cover that up. You may be able to hear some thunder going on. Apparently we're getting storms, so hopefully that will not affect my video. All right, so now you can see I have created a pocket here. So when we put our page back in our memory protector, I'm going to take my tags out. But when we put this back in our page protector, then I can slide these right in the pocket, and they're accessible when I'm flipping through the book. So I can have extra pictures on here, I can have that journaling on here, whatever I want, but at least I don't have to try to take the page out of the protector to see the extra elements. And then you can see too where you can tell that it's got the dimension from those foam adhesive strips. All right, so that's as easy as that. And these page protectors, at least the ones from Stampin' Up, I'm not familiar with ones that aren't Stampin' Up because I kind of limit myself to Stampin' Up stuff. But these are really quite substantial. They're heavy duty, so I don't worry about them just randomly tearing like a school grade page protector. All right, so I'm going to set these things aside now. Let me find my other little pieces. And I'm going to put these in here because I'm still going to do some ink blending like I mentioned yesterday. Not because it was in the instructions, but because that's what I want to do. So I'm going to set these aside and we're going to start working on the second 2-page spread. Okay. Now we did all the cutting yesterday. So if you missed the cutting for this kit, you'll want to go back to yesterday's video so that you can follow along with that. All right. I think we're good. I do not know why my iPad does not want to catch up to me. It just needed to be refreshed, I guess. And I'm just checking volume too. All right, so I think we're good to go. All right, so this is where we left off. We left off on page 7. So now we are going to start with the left page for the 2-page spread. So I need one of these pieces of designer series paper that has the books on it. If I can find it. Okay, I have lost my page. Let me just take a look here. No, I don't need that page. I need this grid line. Whew. All right, so here's the background for that. I just was not paying attention. And then I am going to get all of the pieces that we cut yesterday that are for the second set of pages. And I kept them all sorted yesterday. So when we went through the instructions yesterday, I'm just going to kind of flip back to the front here. It tells us what we need for the first 2-page spread, the second 2-page spread, and the third one. It tells us all of the picture sizes we need. And then it goes through all of the cutting for all of the different papers. So you do all of that prep work ahead of time, and then you start doing the layout. All right. So we are to this page. All right. So we want to go ahead and mat our photos on items 2B, C, G, and H, O, and I. All right. So these are all the ones that it wants us to put our photos on. Now, I don't have my photos ready yet. So I'm going to go ahead and put my placeholders on here. And to do that, I am just using just a very little piece of seal. And that will at least give me the little visual of how it should look. So these are all going to be photos. And then this is a 3x3. Oh, you know what I did? This wants it on the dark side because I wrote all of my markings on the back side. And these I think I'm just going to leave with the light side. It'll give us a little variety in the colors. So you can probably see the difference between the light and the dark. I was just not thinking. So let's flip these over and we'll get those figured out here. And you may prefer one color on this two-tone cardstock. You may prefer one over the other. So it's your set of scrapbook pages. You do you. Okay. And I am frequently found to not be following instructions. So there's that. All right. So those are all ready. And then these are extra for the third 2-page spread. So that's what it's got for me to prepare. Now it wants me to assemble. So using the grid paper, I am going to adhere to A. All right. So these are marked on the back sides. So this is going to go over here. Now, it looks like per the instructions that this piece goes flush over to the edge of the black, because normally it would tell me on this grayed out one, it would tell me how far in the pieces need to go. Like this one's 2 inches, this one's 1.5 inches. This one doesn't really say. So this I'm just going to put right along the edge because that looks like where it's supposed to be. All right. So we're just going to put some seal and a couple of strategically placed points here. Normally I would use my liquid glue because it gives me a little wiggle room. But I have found that when I'm doing these scrapbooking kits, I do all right with the stamp and seal. So all I'm going to do is kind of hold this up so that they are both laying flat on the table, and then line up those edges. Okay. And then the next thing it says, adhere 2B and 2C. So this is 2C, this is 2B, and I'm just going to lay these out because I might want to change these up. When I'm looking at their design, they've got them just kind of linear there, and I'm not sure that I really want mine linear like that. I usually kind of like mine staggered a little bit because then I can add other elements. So then we also want the Hello October, the Fright Night. We've got these couple of little pieces here. Let's just take a look and see what we have. So we've got 2E and 2D, and it looks like these are from the same piece. So I wasn't sure if I had written my notes on the wrong side. So we're going to go ahead and just angle cut these a little bit to kind of flag them per the instructions. And those are going to go somewhere up here. So let me get those other elements. And we want the spider web. And yesterday I kind of like fussy cut these pieces out. Some of them were a little more fussy than others, so that I was kind of getting close to the look without cutting into the sticker, because I wasn't quite ready to stick everything down. So I'm going to kind of do the same thing here so we can kind of just get an idea of what it's going to look like. Because I may change up the layout a little bit. And I can hear some heavy rain. So hopefully my internet won't go down. There was some thunder going on, which means I know there's lightning. You just never know if we're going to go down or not. There's a spider here. I don't know if that's going to go on this page or not. So we'll watch out for him. And then we need this Fright Night piece. These kits are actually much more fun than I expected. And it's helped me to be a little more creative with my memory keeping, because that was not my forte. I only did some scrapbooking pages for the first time a couple of years ago. And that was for an event with my upline. I had never done them before. So I can't remember if I pulled those out to share here or not. I don't know if you can hear the rain, but it's pretty loud. It's coming down pretty heavy. So these are going to go here. And our spider web is going to go here. Ish. But I actually think I will do something like that. So I may adhere these on once I kind of get this laid out how I want. And then let's see what else I need. Let me straighten these out a little bit more how they're supposed to be. And then we need that Hello October banner. And I don't want to stick these down just yet, because since these are stickers, I want to find my picture to put on here. And I just didn't get to that today. So I'm just going to kind of go around the edge of where the sticker is going to peel off. So you can see here where my sticker is going to peel off. And I'm just kind of doing it a little closer to the edge so that I can get a better visual of what it might look like. And I have it all laid out. If you pull your pictures ahead of time, of course, you can get your things all attached and ready to go. And the instructions do tell you on that front page what size pictures to fill it with and whether they're landscape or portrait. So let me just show you that part again. If we go back to the first page, down here in the corner, it shows if you need a 3x3, if it's for the first spread, the second spread, or the third spread. So for the second one, I need one that's 3x3. I need two that are 4x4, and I need two that are 4x6 in a portrait orientation. So the P is for portrait and the L is for landscape. Now, if I wanted to be, more creative, I could always, do something like this and move these over here and put this spider web up here. So you can move these things around however your pictures work out. And I might want my Hello October up here and a couple of banners like here. So my layout could be very different. Let me get back to my instruction page. My layout could end up being very different from how it looks there. And then I could always add like another picture in here. But I kind of like the Hello banner, the Hello October banner off of the pictures. All right, so I think we have all of the pieces. We've got 2A, 2B, 2C. We've got the two little banner strips. We've got this Fright Night. We've got the Hello October, and we've got the spider web. So this is basically page 1, or the left side, for the second 2-page spread. All right. So I'm just going to leave this laid out here, not attached. And we're going to go to the second page. I'm going to set this off to the side and see how this other page comes together and how I want it to flow. So here's the other page. That's our grid sheet. So let's just go to the second part of the instructions. We've got this piece, and this time we're going to put that over on the right hand side so that they're going to be like an open book. Okay. And I don't worry about having too much adhesive on here because it is going to be in a page protector. So it's not like it's really going to go anywhere, right? That might have seemed like a convoluted way to do it, but I like it when they're flush like that, just to stand them up on end and then get the edges kind of pushed where they need to be. All right. So for this one now, I'm going to just scoot these things over this way a little bit so you can kind of see the instructions, hopefully. So we need to put these pictures. They have one over here, one here, and then one here. Now, they do give us instructions as far as how far over. Like this picture here is supposed to be 6 inches over from this end. I eyeball mine. I'm not that particular that I need it a set amount. And it says like these should be a 1/4 inch apart. So while I might be concerned with a 1/4 inch apart, If I wasn't sure how I was going to lay it out or if I wanted to have more elements in here, I would be more concerned about having this be about the same as this, and then these maybe being the same distance as that. All right. So either way, it's going to work out kind of per the instructions, but maybe not by the inches. For me, it's just by look. All right. And then we need this piece for here. And we need that orange piece up there for journaling. And we need this piece will go here. And this is what I call a dry fit, just to see if I like it. All right, now these pieces, I must have written this on the wrong side, so I'm just going to erase my note there. Now these pieces, just like the ones yesterday, were not flagged on the right side page. And I want them flagged. I want them to look very similar. I want them to be kind of symmetrical with the other pages. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to flag up that end. I'm going to flag up this end because that's the look I want. And then these will go here. And we've got a couple of stars. So we can do, it's got a couple of stars here. So I'm going to go ahead and just put those on. And then we've got the eek, which is here. And I'm going to go ahead and put that on. Hey, Juju, how are you? So I did page 1 of the spread already. I'm on the second page, and this is the second spread. So then we've got another eek, which is here. And then be afraid, be very afraid. So I'm going to go ahead and cut these out. So I cut out your little tag pieces today, Juju. So I made 6 of them, 2 black, 2 dark gray, and 2 a metallic black. Hopefully those were good choices. And you can use them or not. We'll see if I can get your card in the mail tomorrow. All right. So these I'll just take off that adhesive backing when I'm ready to stick them down. There's a lot of words on here, so I'm not sure if we're going to have extras or not. And then this I'm just going to cut apart here. So that'll go here, and this one will go here. And they've basically got it right over the picture, the photo. And then beware, beware, beware. Let me see where that is. Oh, right here. It almost looks bigger on there. And I suppose I could be reading the instructions. It might tell me, oh, it does. Use the exclusive grid paper, adhere to F, adhere to G, to H, to I to the base, which I have them laid out. And adhere K, L, and I or K and I over this piece maybe. I don't know. Draw faux stitching on the top and bottom of 2M. All right, so it wants faux stitching here. So let me get the marker. And it just wants a little stitching across the top and the bottom. Those colors you're asking if they're backed? No, let me grab them. I'll show you. You'll just glue them on to whatever you're going to be working on. So you can either cut off part of it. I'll pull the page out so you can kind of see what I did with yesterday's spread here. All right, so this will go here. And then we've got this striped piece. And that needs to be a little bit longer than this, it looks like. So I'm going to go ahead and cut to this stripe here, I think. The instructions originally had told me to just cut it in half. But by cutting it in half, part of this, I can use this here rather than have it wasted. Oh, the beware, beware, beware. Oh yeah, I should have finished that, huh? It's a sticker. So I'm just cutting these off of there, and these are stickers. This is a sticker. These words here are stickers also. The other stuff I have to put adhesive on. All right, so we're going to go ahead. They wanted the star on top of the striped stuff, so let's just put this down here. And I'm using the grid lines to kind of get that straight. And they've got the star over here. This will come here. And then this beware, beware, beware is going to go there. But here it looks like it's got an outline. So let me see. Then add journaling, embellish with the stickers. I think I'll just outline that with my marker because I kind of like how that looks. You might not be able to see that on the instructions very well, but this beware, beware, beware looks like it's outlined. Let's move that over just a little bit more. And I'm going to take my marker and just outline it. That got a little messy. I guess I'll make this one a little thicker so it looks like that's how I wanted it to be. Let me get my ruler. When you make a crooked line, you just kind of make it look like that's how you want it. There. I think that'll be okay. All right, maybe I'll do more on the top too. So it looks a little more symmetrical. I'll just make it a little thicker. I think you were still live when I started, Juju, because your thing came up on my screen that you were live. There. That's going to have to be good enough. All right, so let's flip this back around so it looks right side up to me. All right, so that is all that's going to go on this page. So this I'm going to move down because that's going to butt up against there. And then this will move down a little bit here. And I'll have to get pictures on there. You did a naughty book tonight? I'll have to go check that out, huh? All right, and then let's put these back over here where they belong. And I will probably put my picture on top of the banner ends. This shows the banners on top of the picture. And I think it looks, to me, it just looks a little sloppy. See how that is there? That's on top of the picture, and that, I don't know, it just doesn't, it looks a little sloppy to me. All right. So I kind of like how that looks. So let's just pull in page 1 and let's see how this flows. Let's see if I forgot anything else. Embellish with the stickers. So we've got the star, the eek, the star, the green, the words. I'm just looking here. And then we've got the stripes. So there's really not a whole lot extra on here. So I think what I might want to do is put a couple of bats on here. Just to give a little more stuff. We actually have bats in our yard. They need to do a better job at getting rid of the mosquitoes, though, because we still have quite a few mosquitoes. All right, so I think I'll put that somewhere here. I am not going to attach this pumpkin pie piece until I actually write on it. And I may actually do, because it's got printing on there, I might print something on a clear label and put that clear label on there so that I don't mess it up. And then maybe another bat down here. We'll have to see how it goes. Let me pull in the first page of this spread. And zoom out a little bit more there. So here's the first one. And they actually had the pictures side by side. I didn't like them side by side so much, but I'm not sure that I like it this way either. So I'm going to put this back this way. And then I'm going to put my spider web here instead, because that looks better to me. And I think I'm going to put these flagged things on this side with the Fright Night banner there. Yeah, we've got a ton of mosquitoes this year. And the thing is, the mosquitoes this year, they're smaller. So you don't even really notice them until they're done with you. And then, like my granddaughter, she gets these huge welts. Like she'll have a welt like 4 inches across. They're huge. They bother me too, but not as bad as they bother her. I still think I like my Hello October banner on the top rather than down by these pictures. Because they had this, like I said, they had these pictures side by side, and I don't really care for that so much. I like them staggered a little bit. So I could take a couple more bats and maybe dress this up a little bit with a bat there maybe. And maybe take that one off. And that gives me 3 bats. So that'll help draw the eye. So we've got 3 and then 4 and 5. So we've got the double triangles basically. And then I still have some bats for the other pages if I want. So, Juju, I think you came in after I made the pocket on the pages from last night. So I think these will actually be good like this. And I'll pull in those first pages. And I didn't do the ink blending on those yet. No way. I don't have any Skin So Soft anymore. So it's the bath oil. Interesting. I'm going to have to try that. I usually have to avoid things that have fragrance because my skin is very sensitive. And I break out and I'm very prone to skin cancers actually. And I don't have any dogs, so I don't have to worry about fleas anymore. We used to have dogs in the house, but they got old and they're not with us anymore. So let me pull over these first pages. And I didn't attach all of these things yet, but I wanted to show you what I did here. So these, I'll neaten these up again, obviously. And that's going to go somehow like this. I'm going to put that up there instead. And I'm not even sure what that's supposed to be. I might not even use that because if I don't know what it is, I don't know that I want to have it on my page. All right. And then this I'll probably, I may try to fussy cut some black behind it. Oh, I know. If I do the ink blending with the Gorgeous Grape, that's So Spooky will look good there. So what I did on this side is I was talking yesterday about those tags. This is in a page protector. You can see where it's kind of reflective here. But I put this photo piece, I used my foam adhesive sheets. They're really narrow. I don't know if you can see that. They're, I don't know, maybe only about an 1/8 inch. Let's see, does it say? No. They're about an 1/8 inch across. Excuse me. So I put that just around 3 sides. And then I put another piece right about here on the other side so that I would have a stop for my tags so that the tags wouldn't go all the way down. And then I got these 3. This was from the coordinating designer series paper from the Spooky Sweet designer series paper. And then this is just some Granny Apple Green. And this is some old metallic paper that I had. It's not available anymore. And then I thought I would do the Gorgeous Grape. So then what you do is you just score a line. You'll put the page in the page protector. If you've not done this before, you probably have. But if you put in the page protector, then you just take a stylus or a mechanical pencil or something to draw your line across. How wide you need it. And then take your page out, put like a chipboard in there, and then use your cutting tool and you slice your page protector. That way you can have an interactive page without having to take your page out of the protector. And then these will go in there and you can see where this goes up here. So I have my stop piece right about here, so it can't go any deeper than that. And then I'll either put pictures on those or journaling on them. And then those are all the pieces I have inside to lay out for that page that I kind of liked how it was yesterday. So we've got one more spread, the 3-page or the third 2-page spread. So I will go ahead and do that tomorrow since it's almost 1 a.m. here. And I have quite a few things to do tomorrow, including hopefully getting a card off to you. Um, and your little tags, your bat tags. So that's all I got. Are you going to go hang out by Pam on her live? I may actually do some blending on this too. Oh, and I have these stars I could put on there too. Hello, Lori Stories and Crochet. Welcome. We are just about finished here actually, but I think I'm going to do a little bit of blending on this page. And I'm going to use some gorgeous grape just because I think it'll look good under here. Bedtime for you too, huh? Yeah, I'm tired today. All right, so I'm going to just pick up some of this gorgeous grape. I want it to be a little lighter. And I do not wash my brushes between projects. There we go. So I'm going to go ahead and move these over a little bit. And I'm going to add a little bit of ink between these pictures. And I don't want it super dark. Whoops. Got that a little super dark. So that will go up there. And then this I'll have here. A little bat somewhere on here. And then what I'll do is, because I've got this gorgeous grape going over here, I'm going to add some over here. And that'll just help carry the visual from the left side to the right side. A little bit more ink on here. And I want to do some ink blending on the first set of pages too. But I'm going to have to mask off some of the corners. So this is going to come down here. I think that just kind of breaks up the page a little bit. So this will go up here. There were some more. Oh, there's ink. You have a gift for catching lives at the very end, but at least you spell your name right. I'm going to trim this little piece off here because it doesn't really belong there. So those will go there somewhere. So Lori, where are you from? And then do you write and crochet or do you do other crafts as well? All right, so let's do just a little bit more blending here. A lot of different things. Oh, a lot of different spellings of Lori. Yes, there are. Mine usually gets misspelled by having an E on the end. Don't know why people would put the E on the end, especially when I tell them it's just 4 letters. And they still put the E on the end. So you're a high school teacher for over 20 years. I retired from a technical college. And I love to crochet. I just haven't crocheted anything recently. I've taught my kids how to crochet. It's one of those things that you like to pass on. My granddaughter will be next to learn how. And I've never done the diamond painting. I have friends that do that. But I'm thinking I have so much stuff in my crafting space. I don't know if I could fit another craft in here. And I like to sew also, but I haven't done that for a while either. All right. So there we go. So I think the gorgeous grape with the ink blending on there just kind of helps it flow from the left to the right. So Juju, you'll never do diamond paint? Is that what you're saying? And Laura, are you trying to teach your granddaughter and grandson how to crochet or how to do different crafts? Because my granddaughter started crafting with me before she was 3. Hi, Bonnie. We're almost done. We're almost done for tonight. Yeah, I don't know if I'll have the patience for diamond painting. I think I would like to try, like, if there's a really small one, maybe, just so I can say I've done it. But I don't know. Oh, it's addictive, huh? Yeah, well, maybe. Yeah, I've not done the diamond painting, so maybe. I'm just trying to follow the conversation here. So, um, 3.5 and 1.5. That might be a little young for crochet, but maybe you're more patient than I am. But any kind of crafting at that age, I think is perfect. Start them young. All right. So, what do you think with the gorgeous grape on there? Something a little different. Not something I would have ever really thought to put on my pages. So I think, except that I went to, oh, you fell asleep on me last night? That's all right. I get it. So the diamond dots, are those adhesive or is the canvas basically adhesive? I don't know how those work, but I know that the one gal that I know does diamond painting, she has a tool similar to our take your pick tool. I don't know if it's got a putty end on it. So the canvas is adhesive. Okay. Yeah, I'd be saving my extra pieces too. So then the other thing I forgot about here on this one is these little stars. So these I could actually put on here because I think that's where I'm going to want them to be. So let's put this one flat. So there's a wax that comes with the kits. So it is similar. Okay. Well, I like things that are versatile that can go from project to project. I do that like with it's not exactly the same, but it's similar. When we've got one kit and I have something that will work well with something else, like that baby card that I made 2 nights ago, I pulled in some elements from a paper pumpkin kit and I pulled in something else that was a retired punch. And it's nice to be able to mix and match things. So this, I'm going to actually tuck that under this picture a little bit. And before I stick that down too firmly, this has got some pretty good grip. I want to trim off this white side. Oh, there just went my cap on the floor. There. That's going to look better to me. Now I need to see if I can get that in here again. There we go. There. That looks better. I didn't like the white on the side of the web there. And then these bats, I'm going to put on some black dimensionals. And I hesitate to get like a diamond painting kit for my granddaughter because she has a tendency of dropping beads and such, and I do not want those all over the house. You know, all over the floor, and yeah, because she'll probably spill all of them. All right. Just trying to trim some of this adhesive on here. But we're going to pop these little bats up. So I'll put a guy over here. And then the Hello October, the directions, for those of you that came in late, the directions have these pictures side by side with the Hello October right on the base of them. But I didn't really care for that, so I'm just modifying this to be how I wanted. You wouldn't give little kids diamond paintings? Yeah, it would be a big mess, I imagine. You know, it's funny. My granddaughter doesn't have a whole lot of attention span when she's at home sometimes. And, you know, her mom's thought about having her checked for, you know, like ADHD. But she's here and she can sit and she can do a 100-piece puzzle and focus on it and work until it's done. So I think it's just a matter of when she's bored, she needs to be challenged. So I think I'll go ahead and put that over there. I have to cover up my blob of ink. That was just kind of an oops. All right, and I am using the grid lines that's on the paper to kind of center it there. And then this is just my placeholder, so that'll shift a little bit. I just have a piece of seal on there. All right, and this, we'll go ahead. I'm going to actually cut off this white part too. I'm not sure what the purpose of that is. Well, thank you, Bonnie. And I'm going to put this maybe right up to there. So there are stickers with the kit here. And this I'm going to tuck under where the photo will be. So the photo will go right on top of there. So we did all of the cutting yesterday for those of you that weren't here when I started. This is part of a kit. So the cutting is all done on the front end. And I guess I wanted that under the picture. There, that'll be fine. That'll be fine. All right, that's on there. So I think that's all we need there. And then if I have the two bats here, we've got 1, 2, 3, the 2 stars. So we've got a couple of different triangles. Let's go ahead and put these bats up. I'm going to just do a couple of these in half, I think. For the bat wings, it'll be easier. And then if you came in late, if you're interested in what I kind of modified a little bit on yesterday's spread, I made a pocket to put some journaling cards or extra pictures on, and explained how to make that so it's an interactive piece once it's in your scrapbook, that you can still access it without taking the page out of the memory or the page protector. All right. Again, I'm kind of using the grid lines on here. And this one, I'm going to kind of have it centered. I think you can still see all that. Let's go down just a little bit. Yeah, up there. I think that'll be pretty good. And I still can't put these words on because I have to put my photo on. I have to pull out photos. I had a bunch printed, and then I had to kind of scoop things from my table to do some work. And now I have to find where they got scooped to. All right, and this piece I'm not going to attach yet because if I journal on there, if I mess up, I'm going to want to make a new one. All right. So it kind of surprises me when you're laying stuff out. It's like, oh yeah, that looks okay. And then when you finally put it all together, I'm like, that's really cool. I really like that. So even if I change something up from the kit at least gives me the foundation of what I'm going to do. So I think I'll have those over there. So this is the layout for this page. So I followed this layout pretty closely. Pretty closely on that one. But I added these bats from the spooky suite, I think is the spooky suite. Something like that. That's a current product that's not part of this kit. But this particular kit comes with everything you need as far as the papers. You'll need your own adhesive. And if you want extra embellishments on it, that's for you. But this one doesn't even have any stamping. So you didn't really even need any inks. It was just all the stickers as the elements, and then all the specialty papers, which are specific to the kit. So I don't know that the papers, we did have a set of papers that had the books on it. But I don't know if that was like an add-on for this. I don't remember. I thought I had that because I really liked the books. So I think these are all down. That's not, that is. And then these we'll just put down quick. And then I'm going to call it a night. And then tomorrow we will do the third 2-page spread for this kit. I'm going to make that one a little shorter, I think. All right, so these will go over here when I get my picture filled out. So one says eek and the other says be afraid, be very afraid. And then this one says beware, beware, beware. So the other thing that we have, and this is from the other suite, are these foam glitter star, shimmer star foam stickers. And I think some of those would be fun on here also. And I won't use my putty knife for that. I'll use tweezers because it's just safer for me. So I think we're going to use a couple of these little purple ones. There's stars there. Why not, right? Yeah, that'll work. And then we'll put a couple over here too. Those are kind of fun. All right, so I still have some extra bats for the third set. And this will go here. So here's page 1, or the left one, rather. So I changed mine up a little bit. They have them side by side. The Hello October is down there, and all the little putsy things are all clustered at the bottom. I like mine offset a little bit because it just, to me, it flows better in my brain. And then for this one, we added obviously the ink blending, but I followed this layout pretty closely. I guess I have those down here, but I'll see. I might want those up there. It'll depend on the picture where I put those words. But this one I followed pretty closely. Now, as I mentioned earlier in the live, they give, Stampin' Up! In the instructions tells you how far down a piece should go. I never measure. I eyeball it because that's how I roll. All right. So you can measure, you cannot measure. It's up to you. But that is tonight. So tomorrow we will be doing the third 3-page spread. And again, you know, we talked about this night before last, last night, where, you know, this first set only has 2 pictures on each page. I'm probably going to want to add some extra elements, some extra pictures, maybe some flip-flaps or something so that I can put more pictures in there. I don't know. But then on the second page, because I put that pocket in there, that I've got that interactive element where I can either add pictures or journaling. This one I didn't do a pocket at all because I don't want to be too redundant in things, but I did add some of that ink blending. So we'll see what tomorrow holds for this one. All right. So thank you for stopping in, everybody. I appreciate it. If you're not subscribed already, I would love it if you subscribe. Thumbs up is great too. Feel free to share this with other people. And I appreciate you popping by. So Lori, Bonnie, Juju, I think that's everybody who chimed in. For now, I will avoid the diamond art. Enjoy the rest of your night or your day, everybody. Until next time, you're welcome. Until next time, happy crafting or scrapping.